I am up and preparing to make some sourdough bread this morning. I'm still dabbling in the bread making process. It is a learning process for sure. So let's get started. I want to just show you a little bit about what I'm doing this morning with some of my Pampered Chef tools. Let's start with the starter. You can see here it's nice and bubbly. I did rise and come down overnight, and it's still, I do mark, my daughter taught me to mark. I mark on my mason jar what time I fed it at and the date. And you can see it has already risen and come down, and it's still quite fluffy. So that is a really good sign of a healthy starter. Still is really bubbly, does have a sour smell to it. I'm just going to give it a stir to mix it up, something I hadn't done before. So she always says right before you feed it or before you use it to stir it. The next step is I'm going to measure out the starter and mix it with some water. Super helpful for sourdough bread making is to have a really great kitchen scale. Love this digital kitchen scale. It's so much more accurate to weigh your baking ingredients and measure them by weight versus using measuring cups and things like that. And I've zeroed it out. And now I'm going to put in, she says about a third cup or 90 grams of starter. And she says it's about a third cup. I'm going to mix in some water. I need to measure that as well. So you want to have, zero it out, and I'm using my second classic batter bowl. Look at the difference. So this is the one, this is probably 30 years old, and this is the newer one. This is the one you can get now. They both come with a lid. Okay, zero that out. And now I want to put in about 385 grams of water. 385 grams of water, and I'm going to pour it into my starter. Mix it up until the starter dissolves. You can see it's getting kind of cloudy, dissolving the sourdough starter and the water, and then I'm going to let that sit while I measure out the flour. I'm going to measure out the flour. I'm going to put this right on my scale as well. Zero that out. And here I'm going to need 520 grams. All right. Now salt, 2 teaspoons. These are our little measuring spoons. They come in a set of 2. Love that they are adjustable. Perfect for RVs and small kitchens. Don't take up a lot of space. You take them off to clean them, put them into the dishwasher. And what's great is there's a little lip right down here, so if you're measuring liquid ingredients, they won't slide under. 2 teaspoons of salt. 1 and 2. Stir this together. And now I'm going to mix in the starter mix into the flour. This is one of my favorite whisks that we have from Pampered Chef. It has a nice flat bottom here, and it has some silicone coverings on there, so it's great for mixing sauces and gravies, that type of thing. So I'm going to mix in the flour and salt to the starter mixture. It's going to look kind of shaggy, hard to mix. That's okay right now. What I'm doing right now is the flour is just absorbing the liquid and the starter. And then I'm going to let it sit. It is kind of sticky, kind of shaggy. You see this? Couple of tools that are really handy from Pampered Chef are the bench and bowl scraper. This comes as a set. I will be using them later on. Really handy for scraping dough in sticky dough that's in a bowl. I'm gonna get this slightly damp and just cover this for about 15 minutes and just let it sit. After I do that, I will stretch and fold 2 more times before I let it rise today, and then I will be baking it tonight. That is how simple the ingredients are. I am by no means a sourdough expert at all. I'm still learning, but it really is fun to learn. I love learning along with some of my other Pampered Chef consultants. It's just fun. I love the cooking community. So thank you for being here this morning.